Well, welcome back to Our Better Angels. This is part 7 of Case 2, entitled Dead Air. Last session, the group ended up at the locals' main base, which is the Kroger in the town of Nelson. They have been holding up there pretty well. From what we've learned, what we've been able to glean, is that they have a kind of tentative understanding of what these jellymen are, and it's more cautionary now at this point than anything. They also have another group in the town that's causing problems and is really the main impetus for the problems. It is believed by the locals that they are the ones that are conjuring up or making or whatever they're responsible for the jellymen, and that's the beatniks. And the beatniks live in what is known as Pinkertown, which was a allotment of houses, fine, well-to-do houses, on a hill near the hill that they started on. And they were basically, you know, um, the 50s. They had the boom of the suburbs. It's like the very easy to build templating of houses, very, um, cookie cutter, and they're all up on that hill. In the center of that space, there is a TV tower. Now, that TV tower was put in by the Pinkertons, but according to the locals, is now currently being utilized by the Beatniks to broadcast out strange messages to not just the town, but also surrounding towns. And as we know from the beginning of this case, the reason we're here is because such a broadcast, a false emergency broadcast, was broadcast to the airwaves of Arkham and nearby towns, and it caused a lot of confusion. A lot of people to evacuate towns that they didn't need to evacuate, and then eventually return back. Um, I hope I didn't tip my hand there too much. Okay, so with that said, after the Kroger, there was a moment where B. Arthur is what we're calling him, or rather, the Arthur that is from here, this other Arthur, um, was kind of losing himself and ran away and started heading back down the road towards the manor house. Again, they were attacked on the road, so it's obviously not a smart plan. And I asked at the end of last session, and I thought we had settled it, but I just want to make sure it is 100% settled. B. Arthur's running away. Are we chasing after him, or are we letting him go to his own devices?
He is on foot.
Hmm.
We know driving past that area, that like inlet towards the larger neighborhood where Pinkertown is, will likely attract
Mm-hmm.
hostilities.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where we got shot at the first time.
But that's also where the radio tower is, correct?
Right.
Pinkertown surrounds the radio tower,
It's
more or
basically,
less.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's, hold on. Let me get the
Or
map.
Pinkertown is the entrance to where
Yeah, hold on. My map's taking a while to
Pinkertown.
load. Um,
You're telling me.
I'm gonna the one guy who knows, the one guy who understands my plight. So I don't know why I can't select these.
Like even typing in roll 20, like it takes a couple seconds for the inputs to show up. I don't know if anybody else has that if ever.
Now they've been, yeah, sometimes they've been doing a lot of updates, and it's for the new Dungeons and Dragons.
Hmm.
And I'll be honest, it's there's good and bad. It's we'll see. We'll see. Like they're trying to make the format more in line with like the look of D&D Beyond, but they
Mm-hmm.
left off a lot of things. So I was trying to move over a monster into the new blocking, and you know how like some monsters when they hit they do a thing.
Hmm.
You can't add that on these new sheets for monsters, so it's
Oh.
Oh.
really
Hmm.
weird. But other than that, everything else has been swimming and cool. But Pinkertown, um, bam, right? And now if you hover over it, it should say that to you. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Below that, the one that's not marked, this was effectively their office, the police station, so to speak, for town, which was a Pinkerton office. Now, in that tree line, right, it's this red little area here.
Mm.
If you zoom in a bit, maybe it looks like kind of trees, but in actual essence, it's kind of an area cleared out for where the tower is located. And if you look from where you were at the manor house over here,
Mm.
it was a straight shot. So you can see kind of like from that hill to the other hill where that radio tower is.
Okay.
It's basically same elevation. There might be a divide in between, like a cleft in between two hills, um, but it may not be noticeable. You don't know because the trees are pretty heavily packed. There's also the tree line, like here and there. So there's ways to get to Pinkertown that are not up the main road, but you'd obviously be moving through trees and would want to be a bit more. Um,
Tactical.
that's the word I would like to use. Yeah, more guerrilla tactics than like just walking about. But yeah, if I mean he's on foot, you can catch up to him easily with your car.
Right.
You could probably overtake him well before you get to the dentist's office, so it's not a problem there. But
I guess my issue would be is that he's not our prisoner. I mean, we
Oh no.
moved him out of
But
an area.
he seems to be really connected to the mystery we're trying to solve. He seemed distraught, and so he might get himself killed because he's afraid or
Mhm.
confused.
Yeah, it's one thing going. Did he seem afraid or confused though? He seemed
Yeah,
like he had stuff
definitely.
together.
Wasn't that what Liz saw? But I'm
Mhm.
sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just wasn't feeling well. He wasn't feeling right,
Okay.
and he felt like he needed to go back to the house is what I remember and I have written down.
Okay, cool. Well,
I mean,
He seemed like he was in a panic and like somehow needed to be back in the house where he came
Yeah.
from.
mm-hmm.
so
Yes.
we're not really chasing him. We're more going with him.
You're
is what
you're
we're-
Yeah.
rescuing him from
We're having to
himself
catch-
potentially.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I think of it as. We're
And
rescuing him from
also
himself.
we
Yeah.
had mentioned what I remember at least was we were going back to the house because Chody's character wanted to look at the
let's.
TV again.
Well,
No? Okay.
yeah. kind of.
You had mentioned it, but I
Yeah.
understand if you're still on the fence about that.
I just how I play the game. So it's
You're
more
good.
meta. It's metagaming more than I should. Is why I don't really want to do it.
Okay.
I can assure you whatever you think you got cunning wise, plan wise, I'm sure the second you test it, it will be not anything close. I just have a good feeling in my heart. I'm not trying to be like a douchebag or anything. Anyway, so we're chasing after B. Arthur, right?
I think so.
Got
That's
a
what I want
boat.
to do.
All
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
person, yeah, the only person I
I'm in
need to
favor
say,
for.
yeah, that's the
So
only
one.
person right there I needed to say for certain because he has the car. So
Sure.
you guys must, or you pile into the vehicle as quick as you can and bolt after Arthur Haynes from somewhere else. As you're driving towards him, and you see he's kind of like on the side of the road, and it looks like his initial burst of energy for the run has kind of worn off, and he's kind of in that uh, I want to continue to keep up and like move fast, but my body is not in that. My body's not up for that. I'm sure we've all been
I've
there.
been in a jail cell for like an
Mhm.
unknown
30
amount of time.
years or
Yeah,
some such crazy.
absolutely. I have not been keeping up with my cardio.
Really
gosh,
relatable, honestly.
this is so sounding
Did
familiar.
not
Hard,
Uncle
hard to get your
Iroh
laps
it.
in there.
He's
Uh,
not Uncle Iroh getting fucking swole in his jail
Mm.
cell.
So you would catch him right about here-ish, which is being more than generous. Like he made it a few blocks down the way, right? And you pull up alongside of him. And at about that point, he kind of drops to his knees in the grass at the side of the road, and kind of his hands hit the ground, and you see him kind of breathing heavily. Would like everyone to make a spot hidden check.
Spot hidden check. Spot hidden. Ooh, success. Hard success for Riley. Nice.
Okay, everybody.
Hell
So-
yeah.
The tiering is important.
Don't forget to mark it off.
Stan, you're doing one of those. You know, you got the hand on the wheel. You're rolling down.
I've got things to be worried about.
You're rolling down the window. You're kind of pulling up alongside. You're kind of looking around. You know, you're doing that like big situationally aware, which makes you less focused, right? Arthur, you notice that there's something strange about Arthur. And that strangeness, and this is for everybody who got a success. So, Erica, you'd see this as well, as would Riley, as would Arnie. He seems to be slightly transparent.
Oh shit, he's turning into a jelly man?
Not like
Fading.
liquid transparent.
Oh.
Like,
Does he
Back
look at
to
all
the-
like the mirror creatures?
No, like Back to the Future, like
Oh, like he's just fading
Like
Oh,
away.
he's
he's
fading?
actually
guy is
disappearing.
disappearing, okay?
Oh shit. Maybe that's a good thing.
Riley, you see him, and you notice that when he hit the ground, it wasn't just a fall hit kind of breathing and panting. You saw in the moments that you were pulling up, and everyone didn't really notice this, there was a very quick, and like, you would also notice this too, Arnie. He kind of threw up a little bit, but it was very quick. It wasn't like a huge to do. It was just like a hit
Little baby
and
burp.
spit, right? But stuff kind of came out. Chody, you notice that the stuff that's on the ground
What?
seems to be kind of bubbling and kind of like flesh colored. Nobody else spots that except for Arnie, who's probably pointing out the window, like doing the slow check face.
He's
Like,
sick.
oh,
There's something wrong with him.
Did he melt?
Shit. Do you get out of the car to get him or check on him, or do you stay in the car and like start yelling at him from it?
I
What do you
put
guys
it in
do?
park.
Park.
I'm gonna step out of the car
Yeah.
and watch over the front of the car towards where the people chase us.
Okay.
Probably get out and try and help him.
As you move over to him, he starts to look like a television static.
Oh.
Like when a TV's not quite like hitting the right
Mhm.
frequency,
Yeah.
the television is very staticky.
I want to pull out my meter, my detector,
Oh yeah.
and put it on it and see what it does anything.
Okay. It does. It's definitely reading some sort of connection. And what you find very interesting here is it's very much recording a lot in the little amount of like um, uh, frequency that's coming out here. So like you're checking, right? And you're kind of recording the audio. You're not able to hear the audio as it's coming in. You have to listen to it back. But you feel like it's recording, the tape is kind of spooling faster than it should be, right? It's not recording in time. It seems to be recording at like a fast forward, which is not something you would be able to do in the 50s, I don't think. But
Keep it on him.
it's definitely like the meters are tracking, and I'd like for you to make a your computer use check. As you kind of like do that, you kind of pull it off of him for a second, quiet. You put it back on him and then kind of move it around a little bit and check the area, and you realize that there seems to be this very narrow corridor that points towards Pinkertown Hill and him. Like there seems to be something between you two that the signal is or that your system is picking up.
I would
While you're doing
relay
that,
that to everyone.
before you get to say that, but
Okay.
while you're recording, Elizabeth, as Erica's rushing forward to help, and Arthur's kind of moving up cautiously, not sure what's going on, and obviously this is a bit more haunting for him.
Right.
He turns and he looks over to you, and he says, "We have so much work left," and he just disappears into white dust. All of it kind of just falling onto the ground.
Ooh, bye. That's not good.
I think that's sanity worthy. It's going to be a light one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing a person
Everybody?
view material, yes. Everybody who was watching that. Riley's like, I wasn't.
I feel like I wasn't.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh
I
shit!
definitely was, sadly.
I'll
don't-
accept that, Zach.
Why are we rolling the same?
That is weird that you're rolling
Oh,
the same numbers twice in
weird,
a row.
weird.
And they were doubles. 49 then 98.
So it's just going to be
Siblings.
Would I be paying attention? I don't know if I would if I'm going off the signal and trying to look up into Pinkertown.
I'm going to say that the signal dies the second that it happens, so it makes you look over at it, so you would
Okay.
see the resulting. So you can make it. I'll give you a bonus dice because you weren't paying attention.
So is there physical dust in the ground, or is it more like
Yeah.
static and it's disappear? Oh, physical dust in the ground.
63, you passed, Arnie.
And at this point, even though it wasn't something you saw, you would see that there is a pool of what appears to be vomit on the ground with a flesh color to it.
That's so
Still
weird.
bubbling.
I will say something too. This is hilarious. This scene right here had been planned well in advance. This morning, or rather, this afternoon for lunch, I went to McDonald's, took the wife's car.
Hey, you ran down the street, vomited in bed.
No. Well, it's not me, but there is vomit. But
Turned
there's
into
like
Parmesan.
there was some big old pile of like cheesy puke on the ground, just like on
Oh,
the concrete, and I was like,
Yeah.
"How weird is that? Like, why would that come today when this is an option and a possibility that can be seen?" Anyway,
It was just somebody's
no.
bad night out.
Some
Yeah.
rogue vomit.
or it's
Very weird.
maybe Arthur was here. Maybe Arthur was also here.
Maybe.
John, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Andy, I still want to get to the bottom of what the hell was with all those watermelons that we drove past when you were in town.
Oh.
You remember this, right?
Yeah.
What?
There were
There were a bunch of
broken up-
like busted up
broken up
watermelons
on
sitting on
top of
top of like an electrical box.
Right. I don't understand that.
Someone just crushing watermelons.
Like at least
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, that was weird.
Some people have hobbies. I know crushing
Potter
watermelons
juice.
between thighs is a thing that is
Wow.
done.
Wishing you could be the
Yeah.
watermelon also is a thing.
Yeah,
just
wishing you
had a
could be the
rogue
watermelon,
Gallagher.
depending on the crusher.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Focusing up. So at this point, though, Erica and Arthur and probably Riley, the puke is not like bubbling or anything like I told Chris. It's I'm sorry, where the fuck's Chris? I told Jody. Sorry,
It's always
brain went
weird.
It's so weird. I did it, and it's weird. It's not bubbling or anything, but it is kind of like a weird flesh color. Seeing the man disintegrated, just 1 point of sanity. We've seen weirder stuff.
Okay.
We definitely don't understand why that happened, but yeah, I think as far as the day has gone, it's not exactly
The worst.
it's hardly rating.
I'm just kind of hoping that the puke on the ground isn't Danish.
Chody, what were you saying?
Is the puke still giving off a signal?
No.
Okay, so as soon as he left, the signal went dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Neat.
that's spooky.
Danish is what kept his signal
That's what
strong.
I'm thinking.
'Cause he was being broadcast.
Brent, you killed him.
It is Danish.
You ate his snack.
It was good. I don't regret anything.
I'm not confirming or denying that, by the way.
At least he ate. At least he got to eat a Twinkie before he died. You know,
It's true. He did eat a Twinkie.
Maybe that's what killed him.
that maybe he was allergic to Twinkies.
Damn it.
Guy has his first Twinkie.
With that allergy, I mean,
Needs
that's
to
really
be-
not
It
much
was
to do.
so good.
And he turns into sugar. The dust does have kind of like a whitish color to it, by the way. So it almost looks like
sugar.
yeah, again, not a sports guy. You all know this. But you know when like they do like lines on the like sports ball field, like baseball
Chalk
or
lines.
but it's not like yeah, it's like dusty chalk, right? Yeah, it's chalk.
Typically, it's chalk or paint.
It's usually chalk, sure. Chalk lines. It's like chalk in the grass. Roughly person shaped.
Writes that down in journal.
Probably have like no good reason to, but do we want to collect it?
suppose we could.
I'm gonna open up the lunchbox where the Danish was.
Does it have any like signal on it?
No.
It did
Okay.
not. I checked. Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
checking down there.
Then I don't think that we need it.
Have a dustpan full of B. Arthur.
I've never swept
Put 'em in a
grass,
jar.
so I mean, best of luck to you on that. I'm sure you'll get a bit of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was really kind of just gonna use them as like pocket sand. You know, if we got into a fight, I couldn't win. Just throw a lunchbox
Pocket
full of
shot.
B. Arthur.
B. Arthur, don't fail me now.
His last
Oh my
act.
god! Oh my god! It's in my eyes. It burns.
He had more work to do.
It
And then he
did.
just
Well,
starts-
I want to know what the work is.
Whatever it is, he just starts melting because it's actually thermite. I don't know. We're just making stuff up.
Oh, that reminds me. That one thing. The thing made of fingers.
Yeah.
Stan kind of looks over his shoulder and is like, "Oh, that guy. Well, what happened? He's got a lot of work to do." That's what that other guy said, right? Art.
That's
I think,
what
I think Arnie was here with me when I spoke to the lady.
Art said that to Chris. Is that what you mean?
Art said that to
The boy. His name is Chris.
the little boy, Chris. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are not done with our work.
He said all
Yeah,
kinds of
that's,
stuff.
That thing I blew away in the basement when we found B. Arthur. He was talking to some kid with this. I pull out the mirror. Said he had a lot more work to do.
Oh wait, that was on a note. Under the statues too.
Man, this guy's got a lot of unfinished. All these Arthurs have so much unfinished business.
Parts of art would fall out of the mirror and reassemble. That's right.
I'll just sort of absent-handedly hand the mirror over to Erica, and then go back to scanning for danger.
Yeah, no danger. We're clear here.
And I'm gonna reload my pistol because I don't recall doing that before. So yeah, that's we caught him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he was heading towards Pinkertown. Did anyone
Yeah.
get any inclination why?
I think he was
said
going
he
back
wanted
to the
head
house.
back to the house. Right,
Yeah.
right.
He wasn't going to Pinkertown. He just happened to be going in this direction to
Oh,
get back to
yeah.
the house where we found him.
At least I assume he's going back to
That's
the house.
that was our assumption. Based on his conversation with Erica, he was going back to the house.
Because he said he had to go back.
Arnie, you want to do anything with that vomit that you noticed anything
No.
about? Okay.
There's no second. No.
I'm
That's
not
gross.
touching it.
That's
I'm just
gross,
saying,
man.
we've got a mirror and a small pile of vomit from a man who vanished into dust. Just making sure we cover all bases.
Yeah, I guess.
Stan's got no other lead.
Anybody else checking out anything about the pile of dust and the vomit? Anything
So I
Did it
guess
make an outline of B. Arthur?
So I'm gonna take like maybe I have like a little bag where I have some stuff for supplies.
So you are going to
If
gather
there's
it
like,
up.
no, I'm not gonna gather it up. There's like a little, maybe like a pencil or something. I would just sort of see if there's anything in it.
Oh, okay.
Like
so no problem.
inside of it?
That's all I was looking for. I was looking to see if someone was tampering with it. Yeah, after a fashion, you find a wedding ring.
What?
Oh, the one that we gave him?
The one that you gave him.
Hey, we got it
Hey,
back.
this is really gross.
Oh no, it's slightly like chalky, I guess would be the.
Oh, so it's not like
It
slimy.
didn't get in the vomit. No.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, that's what
Was
I was.
he wearing the ring?
He was.
I think this is gonna take a good polishing.
Maybe don't put that on.
Is there an
You'll
inscription in
get
the
Mike
ring?
TV'd.
Yeah, this is the same ring that you gave him. This was
The same ring, okay.
Gabriel
The one you found in the coal
wedding
pile.
ring for his wife,
Got it.
which would be Raymond Rebels' grandma.
This is very curious. So we're on our way to the radio tower. We might as well continue that way, right?
How do we want to go to the radio tower?
Safely?
Yeah. Please.
Safely is probably
That's my vote.
As
parking in front
safely
of
as
one
we
of these
can?
houses and then going through the woods.
And who has the ring? It's going to be Arthur, right?
Yes, Arthur has the
You're
ring.
not wearing it or anything. You're just putting it in a pocket, your jacket pocket.
Oh, you're just really tempting me with that.
Just
to wear that
making
ring,
sure,
aren't you?
and then everybody else is getting into the car, piling in. We're not picking up any samples of dust. We're not picking up any samples of puke or anything. Nothing like that, right? I have three
Yeah.
things I have to have mandatory because of
Okay.
the way these things transacted. Andy, I need you to roll a D100. This is a percentage chance for a random happen chance happening or not.
Yes. Yes, 43.
We'll leave it.
Okay.
Elizabeth, I need you to make a sanity roll. And then
Why?
Stan, I need you to prepare to make a driving roll because you're obviously going back that way, or are you going back to the Kroger at this point? What's the new plan? You're the driver. You tell me what the new plan is. That's what I'm asking you. What's the new plan?
That's too bad.
What part of the car do you sit in, Erica? What seat in the car? I forgot.
I think she was shotgun.
Yeah,
Shotgun.
it was
That's
shotgun.
right. Okay, so you pulled up alongside of him. You walk around the car, and just as you're about to open the door to get in, your vision flashes. Everything is a mist, and in the sky above, you can hear and feel pressure. Red lightning bolts throughout the trees behind where Arthur burst apart. You watch as a mass of flesh boils upwards from that spot, and Arthur's face curls upwards like the movie Abyss, but like fleshier and not waterier, and kind of looks at you. And then in that instant, you're back where you were standing. Like it's like kind of like this moment where you're kind of pulled out of yourself and then just dropped right back in. You're gonna lose 2 points of sanity for that bad roll, but you don't know what happened. You could definitely hypothesize, but that felt very real. Like you were transpositioned.
Did he look like he was turning into one of those like spider guys?
The big ones?
Yeah.
It did look like that.
Oh no.
You know what big Arthur was?
Right.
Like the giant face she saw in the sky?
The ones that
Yeah.
she saw. Yeah, she was the only one who's
Okay.
seen the other
Right.
side of the cellar door. Yep.
Yikes, huh?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I hope so. I
Makes
really do.
sense.
I just want you to make sure you logged everything so when I throw out the end of this case in a few 3 or 4 weeks, we'll all laugh together. Stan, what's the plan? That's
I
perfect.
guess we're headed towards the radio tower.
So we're driving as fast as we can straight up to it, or do we want to drive over to somewhere close by and like sneak up? Do you want to try and ask like maybe the doc that you got, that saved your life?
I like that doctor. I would like to speak with him for a moment.
Okay, you drive over to his house. As you kind of pull up, you see him kind of come out onto the front with the shotgun in hand, still wearing the same bathrobe. I gotta switch the music here. And he looks over at you, kind of gives you a nod.
Sir?
Local law enforcement didn't know they would be sending folks like you into town. Interesting to see.
Didn't know there'd be folks like you in there.
It takes all
Hell of
different
a
types. Well, thanks. It takes all different types to keep a town together. Some of us are doing our best.
I can appreciate that. Say, Doc,
You're going up the
Dukes,
hill,
by
aren't
the way,
you?
forgive me.
No problem. Hold on, sorry. Dr. Gowden. James Gowden.
Okay.
You're going up the hill, aren't you?
Sure looks that way.
Well, I don't think the Jellymen would be stupid enough to head up there themselves. They're usually running down from it. So, I do know that there's an old walk-in path out behind, he points across the street, the antique shop. place has been rustled through quite a bit. Probably nothing in there worth, your notice. But behind the shop, you'll see a walking trail. I think it leads up to a game trail, and then through the woods. Keep making your way up, and it should lead you right behind those tacky-looking houses.
These beatniks, they patrol it.
Beatniks don't typically come around these parts. He kind of.
I can wonder why.
He does the shotgun over the shoulder, like he definitely was boasting there. But if you see them, they're not really much of a trouble unless they're trying to get you. So unless someone's telling them what to do, they're usually just singing, dancing, and acting a fool.
Much obliged, sir.
No problem. And I mean it. There's probably
I'm
nothing.
ready.
He says, I mean it. There's probably nothing in that antique shop, so don't even worry about it. And
I got the hint.
I want to make sure, like, out of character, I'm not doing that because I'm trying to avoid his space. He's doing that because he's trying to point to you. He would rather you not go in the antique shop.
Right.
Okay.
He's got this territory. That's his antique shop.
Right. Snaps. And, yeah. If you would like, you can.
I'm just going to back out of his driveway directly across the street.
You won't be able to drive up that trail. It's a walking trail, right? On a foresty hill. So
I'm saying park at the antique shop.
Probably park behind it. Just smarter. Keep yourself less visible from the road.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And it's kind of like it's very forested behind there. The only thing back behind the antique shop, back door, of course, which looks like it's kind of hanging off its hinges, slightly open, almost invitingly so. And then there's a big like barrel bin of trash, and it looks like it's full still to the brim of trash. Mostly, from what you can tell, paper waste that's kind of stuck together due to like rains and snows.
Yum.
Okay.
And then you can see like kind of just jutting up behind, like into the trees. It's like a very clear divide, like bright kind of yellowish dirt color compared to the dark browns and greens of the forest. It's like a sharp cut into the forest line.
Cool. I'm gonna get in the trunk and I'm gonna arm myself to the teeth.
No.
And nobody's going to the antique shop, right?
That's correct.
Really want to though.
No one's going to the antique shop.
Nobody can stop you, Brent.
Boy.
I'm a decent shot, Brent.
Not as good as the dog.
He'll just wing you. He'll just wing you.
No, when I try to wing him, I blow a leg off. I was fully hoping to take that guy prisoner.
So
I'm too excited.
What you want to do is you want to try and murder them. That way you just graze them.
No, see, when I try to murder, I miss completely. There's got to be a third option.
Maybe you wanna try to mortally wound them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm stringing my rifle over my shoulder, taking the pistols.
Go ahead.
I would take a pistol. I would also want to make sure that I have my ear on this 3-band walkie-talkie as well. So if something comes through or hear something,
Okay.
I'm paying attention to it.
So you're hearing local talk, and you're hearing basically they're coordinating. There's some chatter that's about you. It says guests are heading over to the doc's house, chasing after their weird friend. Okay, just keep an eye on him if you can. If you see him, keep an eye on him. And they, are probably aware that you have channels, but like it sounds like they're just kind of being wary. But everything else sounds like what you were hearing before when you were listening to banter. It's like typical kind of just movements, shift changes, defending the town kind of stuff.
Okay.
And if you go up the hill and head
It wouldn't be reasonable to carry a rifle at the same time, would it?
A bat and a
it'd be a
rifle?
bit cumbersome, to be sure.
Yeah,
What kind of rifle you got?
M1 Grand.
Probably has a strap. Yeah, if it's the one you pulled off the.
It's the one I had. I brought in with
Oh,
me.
you had
It
your
would have a
own.
strap.
Okay, yeah, then certainly, yeah, you can strap that over the shoulder and then kind of use the baseball bat as like a walking cane.
All right. That's one options.
Yep. I mean, when push comes to
Sorry.
shove, if you flip to that rifle, you're dropping the bat. It's gonna have to lay
Totally
down for a
fair.
bit. Yeah. But
That's for quieter times.
yes. Well, I mean, it does make a loud like home run bat sound if you like
Yeah,
critically
it's Smash
succeed.
Bros. Full on.
Yeah.
But still not a rifle.
Right. You head up the hill. Last call for the antique shop.
Nope.
Okay. You head up the
Gonna
hill
be good.
into the forest. Dark, misty, but there are bands of light that kind of come through the treetops that kind of make it a bit more manageable. It's not like you're walking in the darkness midday. It's not that heavy a forest, right? And the sunlight is doing a lot of work, and the refraction in the mist is also like lighting it rather well. Now, because of the mist, it's a hard bit to see too far off into the distance, but it's not impossible, like especially for larger structures. Um, and this becomes very much apparent when you make your way up the hill and you're coming to a specific point where you feel like you're kind of on a flat, more kind of level terrain, and then the hill next to you, it has this very strange kind of drop and then kind of ascent. So it's very unmanageable, but you see that the trail goes around this crevasse in the hill and kind
A
of comes up
ravine.
and around. Yeah, kind of, but it's a bit more just like a dip, right? It's not like because ravines are usually water that implies water, right? Like a water runoff.
Yeah, there are dry ravines though.
Yeah, it's a dry ravine, a crevasse, or what have you. But the point is as you're making your way to that section that will continue up the hill on this flat territory, you see a couple of broken down, like, houses scattered inside of the forest that have been completely overtaken by nature. They look like they have been completely forestized by age. And the one structure that absolutely stands out directly ahead of you, just off the path, like if you turn left, you are going up the hill. If you go straight, you're going towards this structure. Is an old steeple. And Arthur,
Ooh.
you recognize the church. This is the church that Gabriel Rebels built.
Oh, I would say that.
So this would be where the old town is.
This hill seems to be the case.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of spooky that it's just left here.
Yeah. Yeah. Abandoned, it seems like.
Crazy what a couple decades can do.
I was muted. I
Right.
apologize. This current version of the church, is it the burned down church or is it standing fine?
It
Okay.
is the burned
Thank
down
you.
one.
Okay.
Also, it looks like even more atop that, because again, in Arthur's background, in this Arthur's background, since we have an idea that there's multiples, the church was burned down. Everything went exactly according to the last series, with the exception of the ending.
Right. Right.
So this church was burned down. There were 2 police officers murdered inside this church after Arthur and company were investigating it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I guess now it's just completely abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Part of a hiking trail.
You would know that the graveyard's probably not too far off, interspliced throughout the trees as well. Probably more bushes and stuff back that way. If you'd like to investigate it, you can, or you can continue up the hill.
I'm not terribly interested in it, but
Yeah, does it look like it just looks overgrown, like no one's been there at all?
I would say that less so than the other buildings. This
Okay.
one looks like it is more just like a ruins inside of the forest. It doesn't look like a lot has kind of been able to hold root, due in part to the foundation, due in part to the structure not being made out of wood and the like. It's a bit harder, even though it is already kind of demolished. It's a bit harder for a lot of things to kind of take root. Now, if we were like in the south and there was like what's that vine that gets on everything?
Oh, the
Kudzu?
Kudzu, that's it.
kudzu. Yeah.
If we
The
were
stuff
there,
that goats have to eat.
yeah, this place would be a shit show. But no, it's not that bad. Like there's some ivy on the other buildings. This building has been pretty free of it because there's nothing for them to kind of keep.
What kind of structure exists here?
Yeah, so it's like the shell, kind of the curtain wall, effectively, of a brick church. There's one side that looks like it's been kind of toppled, and then it looks like you can see a mausoleum and some structures behind it where the graveyard would have been. And then
It doesn't appear like any kind of vantage point to it.
It does look like you could get to a higher position for sure. If that's what you're asking, you don't know how sturdy it is,
right?
Without going inside and investigating a bit further. But from here, it looks pretty structurally sound.
We'll wander towards it. I don't know if I want to get fully inside yet.
Okay, you're
We
keeping
can
it.
just see if
Go ahead.
there's like anything in it.
You're keeping an eye on the high ground. You're keeping an eye looking for potential, like, people lying in wait, snipers, what have you, right? You're being mindful here. But none of
I have a
that's...
question. Can I just ask a quick question? So, Zach, did Chris give the hand mirror to Stan?
Yes. And
okay,
then
so you
Stan
have
gave
the
it
hand
to
mirror.
Erica.
Stan gave it to Erica.
Who's
okay.
Chris?
Okay. Chris is the
was the little
boy.
No,
The little boy whose friend is.
I know.
Oh.
That guy's Jody.
That guy.
That's Jody.
I mean, the other one.
The other one. Chris is the character, the NPC. Jody's the PC. So
Okay.
you head towards it. Like I was saying, you're scanning, you're being mindful, pistol or baseball bat at the ready, rather, kind of just watching, being ready to sling that Garand and be ready. No sign of life. There's one moment that's kind of like, like a kind of jump scare-ish moment where a what you presume is like a falcon like bursts out from a tree nearby and takes flight and becomes nothing more than a silhouette in the heavenly mists above. But other than that, there's really nothing to it. You enter into the wreckage of the church, and it's just like it was the last time. There really isn't much of note. You look to the kind of pulpit, or rather, what's remnant of it, and there's the shell of the pulpit. The wood's kind of broken away a bit. Looks like termites have gotten to it. And then behind it, the wood of what appears to be the crucifix that was made by the rebels and was burned in the fire is present there. And it's even more kind of just broken and fallen apart, which makes it look even more eerie. It is a burnt Christ on the cross that has kind of fallen apart in parts that make it look like it's decaying. It is horrific imagery, to be sure. Looking around, you again see the mausoleum. We've been there before. The grave sites. Does anybody wish to try and investigate anything that's been mentioned here? The high point also, it looks like you can kind of climb up there, and it does look really sturdy from here.
Does it appear to be a safe, easy climb, or is it like
it doesn't
what's
look like
left of
it doesn't
stair
look like
steps?
it's going to be like dangerous. It just looks like it's going to require some skill.
I'm not an excellent climber.
Okay. Well,
I know
somebody who
someone
really
who
likes
is.
heights.
Here's the funny part. I'm not good at climbing, but I will climb it.
I will try.
I will do my best.
Yeah, it's not terribly high. It's only about
I'll try to like spot him.
Yeah, it's only about 20 or so feet. In all honesty, like the two of you, like if you can get him up on your shoulders standing, because he's kind of a smaller boy and you're, a big lad, you could definitely get him up there and like.
I'm pretty big.
Oh, is Riley?
Yeah, my size is 70.
Oh,
Damn,
okay.
he's bigger
Yeah,
than
yeah.
me.
Your art makes you look like some kind of like
Yeah, real small,
real
small dude.
So
Yeah.
no, then absolutely not.
I'll still.
Not
He's
a
not
little
gonna
lad.
stand on my shoulders, but I'll at least give him a boost if he intends
Yeah.
to climb.
Okay,
If
absolutely.
that affects it whatsoever.
So you two are working at that. Meanwhile, Erica, Arthur, and Arnie, what are we doing inside the church?
I'm gonna explore the pulpit and start looking around,
Okay.
up around in there.
We'll get back to you here in a second. Erica, Arthur.
I would be looking around to see if there's any kind of remnants of the church as I knew it 30 years before.
Okay. And Erica.
I would probably be also like looking around. Not really for anything specific, I don't think. Actually, no, I think probably looking at the crucifix a little bit closer.
So you're moving over to the pulpit as well, nearby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I
let's
guess
work.
behind.
Yeah, near Arnie.
Yeah.
So we'll work this out in order. So Arthur, you kind of like fiddle around, looking at the, the broken down pews, looking at everything that's kind of present here, trying to think back to, what was kind of laid bare by flame, the last
Mm-hmm.
time you were here, and you really didn't have a lot of time to look at the interior, and
Mm-hmm.
there really wasn't anything noteworthy. The place that was most of note was the mausoleum, which you
Mm.
absconded with the contents of.
Right.
Um, you look around, and the one thing that kind of catches your eye is like a shiny, caught by like a sun ray through the most fortuitous breach in the trees above and the stone below it, but above you, to catch on this brass offering plate that is laying kind of just cocked in a bit of brick and rubble and dirt.
Okay. I would definitely walk over and try to lift it out without damaging it.
You place your hand
Dust it
on it,
off.
and we pause
Yeah.
from you. We'll move over to
Oh, boy.
Brent and Arthur. Sorry, Riley and Arthur. The two of you together work and eventually find a way to get Riley a foothold and then push him up onto the area that would have effectively served as like a housing for the bell that would have been present here. The bell has long since gone. It is not present. But what you do find up there, Riley, is it looks like someone has been squatting here. There is a sleeping bag, relatively new, probably only 5 or 6 years old in the make and model of the sleeping bag. It's not like a dated old sleeping bag, right? And it looks like there are some packages of food that are relatively recent as well. In fact, probably a Twinkie wrapper. So potentially people that might have it in good with the Kroger folks, the locals, um, present here. Whether or not they remain, you can't be certain. You can make a track roll to see if you can see or find any like means or manners of them like having um, entered, exited this place, and how long ago that would have been.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but
I don't think anybody has track. I didn't even think about.
No worries. Yeah, it's not this team. It's not this team. Okay. Do you want to spend any luck, or are you good?
nah, I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, it's definitely a thought that wouldn't come to Riley for certain. And as that's happening, you kind of are looking down into the church, but you can also look out onto that road, and you can see from this angle up the road, kind of towards the hill, and you can see the tops of one of those cookie cutter houses, and you can also see down the road that you came up, and you can almost swear you can see, like you're pretty sure from this vantage point, you can see the antique shop. Which again, you walked for about 20 or 30 minutes, so it's like a bit of a hike um, up the hill. So just to kind of put this in perspective, it's a really interesting vantage point. Um, okay, I'm gonna grab somebody. I need a representative. They'll put Arthur. Arthur will be the guy. Um, and then, last but not least, Arnie and Erica. You walk towards the pulpit, and as you're approaching it, and everyone would see this at the same time. And this is about when Arthur's placing his hand on the plate, the offering plate, and everyone kind of, made their position with the ascent. Um, you see a bright light appear about 20 feet above the crucifix.
Life is a mystery.
Good. Yes.
I'm gonna give you a point of sanity back.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, I don't know what reward structures for making me laugh are in this game, like in D&D. So I'm just making it up. Add luck, add sanity.
D6 luck.
Yeah, give him some luck.
Just 1 point of sanity. It made me more safe.
Okay.
Bright light in the sky, 20 feet above. Again, there's no roof to this place really. Just kind of at the front. Bright light.
I look at it and try to decipher what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It slowly starts to descend.
Is it making any noise? I should say first.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm ripping out my thingy if it's something inside of the church.
Oh, it's not inside the church
Church
yet.
has no roof, so it's just floating above you in the sky.
You're effectively in an open space that has walls.
Right. So I guess I'm trying to say, is this something where it could be a helicopter?
Oh no.
No.
It's much closer. Okay, then I'm gonna break out my device for ghost.
Yeah.
Hunter.
Okay. Cool. While that's happening, Erica, you see this happening. Again, it's boom, and then just slowly like descend.
Yeah.
It's not like dropping very fast. It just slowly. You can see that there's a downward trajectory.
Yeah. She's absolutely watching it. Like journal comes out, taking notes.
Okay. Stan, you're on ground level, so you would see that, and Arthur, same time. You're on ground level, so you both see that happening. You have the plate as you're kind of looking at it. You can pull it up now if you want, or you can leave it while we deal with that. Your call.
I'll leave it while you deal with that.
And then Stan, do you want to brandish a weapon or anything?
Would I even see it? I'm like outside the
no.
more sturdy wall.
You're not outside the wall. You're inside the wall because you would have climbed in.
Oh,
to where
okay. I
he is.
went into
Yeah.
the interior of the church
So-
to boost him up.
Let me explain it real quick so you got it
Sure.
because I've got it in my head and it makes sense. For a
I
small
pictured
church.
it as like the bell window from the exterior of the church. If that's incorrect, that's not.
So it is incorrect because you're coming at it from the back. You're coming into it from where there would have been a stair structure. You're coming into the bell area from inside of the building using
Okay.
the old support structure that would have allowed access to it, but isn't 100% there.
So I can definitely see the light.
Yes.
I mean, I'll keep the bat at my side. I don't know what I'm seeing, so I'll just keep an eye on it and keep an eye on where Riley went.
Okay.
Make sure he's not trying to signal me for anything.
Riley, you're seeing this from a very different perspective. So I'm going to give you a bit of information here that they don't have. You played the game Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, correct?
Yeah.
You know what Navi is?
Yep.
Okay. So instead of bug wings, imagine those as being like feathered wings. That's what the light is from your perspective. You're looking at it straight on. You are basically looking at it from an angle that would be very narrow, where they're looking at it from an angle that's very sharp. So, seeing that, it very much matches the description that you got from the locals of
angel.
Right. And it's slowly descending towards Arnie, who's whipping out his kid. What is your response?
I'm gonna scream, "Run, Artie! I don't think it's here to be friends." It's an angel like the villagers described. Run.
I would.
And then I would like to throw the sleeping bag at it.
The sleeping bag.
Like try to catch a bird.
Make a throw roll, but I can assure you, the only result I will allow to complete the process you are planning is not that. It was not that. It was a 1. You needed to roll a 1. So what
I was
happens
hoping
is
for
you
it.
kind of look around, and then your brain like, and all the pieces fall into place, and it's like, yeah, throw the sleeping bag at it, and you grab it and you try to throw it the length of the church. It goes about 5 feet and descends with kind of like a, and that's it.
Oh no.
It's like near to where Arthur's at.
Honestly, more distracting than it.
It stops in mid-flight, looks across the room with no eyes, and you hear, "What the fuck?"
Figured you were tired. You were coming down.
Mission accomplished. We did it, guys. Let's run. No, joking. None of that happens. The only thing that does happen is it lands close to where Arthur's at. Not like right near, but like
Arthur or me?
Arthur.
Okay.
It gets
Earlier
nowhere.
you described it. Earlier described it directly above Arnie. We just wanted to be sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's why I was checking.
Sorry, Arnie is on the other side of the church.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I used the wrong person's name. Yeah,
Can you give us a vague idea of proximity
Sure.
for the 5 of us?
Let's go ahead and put positions. 20 feet above Arnie in the pulpit is the angel. Right behind that is Erica. About 15 feet behind that, closer towards the door, is Arthur at where the plate is located. About 10 feet away from him, towards the middle of the chapel, or the remnants of the chapel, is a sleeping bag that was just tossed there from about 20 feet up and about 15 feet back. Where the tower is located. And
Not a bad toss for a blanket.
Yeah, well, it kind of did one of those, and it got lucky on the backswing. And then directly beneath that is Stan, who is close to the door. The tower section is also the framing for the door. So, like, you can, when you walk in through the double door, above that is where the bell would have been. The bell and steeple.
I think I've got it.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a huge space. Small town church. So, Arnie throws the sleeping bag and yells, "Run!" Or not Arnie, sorry. Riley. God damn it. Throws the bag. It splashes down in the center of the church and yells, "Run, Arnie." Riley says, "Run, Arnie," because Arnie can't say "Run, Arnie." Why would he do that? That's silly.
Yeah.
What is Arthur doing? This is all unfolded.
I mean, he's not going to pay attention to the offering plate anymore. He's got it in his hand.
You're taking it?
Yeah, taking it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You wrench it free, and when it comes up, it seems to be kind of bowl up, and there's something inside of it, along with some dust and dirt.
Okay.
But
well,
you're able to easily kind of keep it inside without inspecting it really quick. If
okay, that's fine. I'm just...
Head out of the church?
I mean, I guess I would back away, yeah. Because it seems like a bad thing is happening, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Stan? Arthur comes moving towards the door, which you're at.
Yeah. I'll try to kind of cover Arthur. And I'll just address the light. It's like, we don't want trouble.
And are you skinning that smoke wagon? You pulling that rifle off the back, or?
I'll keep with the bat.
Okay. Bat in hand, as Arthur's kind of moving up to you, you look at the light and say, "We don't want trouble." Okay. Erica, you see Arthur kind of retreat across the chapel towards the door. Yeah. Stan taking on a protective, defensive position near the door. Riley throwing sleeping bags.
I think she'll back away from the the crucifix, but not like rushing towards the door.
Okay.
Just kind of like stumbling.
Okay. Yeah, scared. Yeah, for certain. Roll a d100 for flavor.
Oh boy. 47. Okay.
You have a moment where the back of your foot kind of catches against a brick, but you're able to keep your footing. Just a slight backward walk stumble.
Okay.
Okay, and last but not least, Arnie, you see the thing descending down to you as you just got it out. You've got the tools out to start the read, but you haven't started the read.
I think after I see it,
And
this might not be a good idea, but he will be shock and awe. He hasn't ever seen that. He's worked around stuff like this, but it's always been fake to him. He's going to grab the crucifix and start pointing at it and praying.
oh, sorry,
Saints.
the crucifix is massive. It's a
Oh, okay.
structure.
Then he's gonna drop to his knees, eyes on it, and start praying, and
Hmm.
start basically.
Wow.
My favorite
I love
part.
it.
My favorite part about this, Brent, and I think you were in that game. Is the last time we saw one of these.
I think there was one where I used enough luck to live on 1 HP and shot it with a crit hit.
Yeah, but somebody dropped to their knees and started praying to it. I can't remember who that was. Was that Bucket?
Not to
No, I don't
it.
think it was.
I don't remember who it was.
I think it was the Walker guy in here.
Yeah, it might have been Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our British, our friend from across the pond. Okay, cool. Not to it for sure.
Right, not to it.
That may or may not change. Okay. So, that being the case, it descends. It comes to kind of float / stand. It's now at this point where it's more of a stretch of light than a ball of light. And it seems to kind of hold its posture at the podium. The wings at this point are visible to everyone, with the exception of Arnie. So you can see that there's these kind of feather-like beams of light kind of emanating out from it. It lowers itself down towards Arnie, who's praying towards Jesus, the destroyed crucifix therein. And I need you to make a power roll, Arnie.
All of us or who?
Just Arnie.
You get this, Arnie.
Power.
Power.
It's one of your
Yep.
stats.
It's one of your, yeah.
It deals with power.
Bottom middle of the 9 stats at the top.
It's in relation to your magical power, your eldritch power.
Oh, nice.
Skin of his teeth, maybe?
You have never ever been someone who believes in this kind of thing. As you pray, you feel a upspring of energy inside of you. A purpose rise in you. A courage kind of fill your heart. And as you look up directly at this thing, this beam of light that's blindingly just radiant in front of you, you see past the light. You see what it is. A figure standing before you, desiccated, ancient, older than anything you have ever seen before, reaching its hand towards you, its fingers spiraling out like noodles almost. You're really hard pressed to describe what these finger tendrils are, other than light made flesh. And as it's reaching out towards you, something in your heart causes it to pull its fingers back, the fingers sliding back into a hand-like posture before disappearing into the light once again. You all hear a loud screech of a sound that's wrenching, absolutely gut-wrenching, and we'll get to the sanity roll here in a second, which is coming, of course.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
It lifts up into the sky and disappears. Sanity rolls.
Everybody.
Yep.
Ooh.
Failure.
Damn it!
Oh.
Wow, Riley. Jeez. That's a good roll, too.
Yeah, if I wasn't already mostly insane.
Jody, good job.
Thanks, man.
It's going to be 2 points of sanity loss on that one. Again,
How many points?
2. Just
Sorry?
2. Just 2.
What if I've lost 5 so far?
This session.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I will
Did you ever have an opportunity to
I
spend
thought
luck
it was
to have?
5 in one
5 in
go.
one go, not 5 in one session. It's 10 in one session.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
always spend 4
Not
luck to
Still
make this
got
2 a
time.
1.
not 10. Sorry, 1/4 of your total sanity in one session. Okay, cool, cool,
Okay.
cool. But not. It wasn't 5 in one shot. These have been minor circumstances that are unnerving, skin
Right.
crawling, and like agitating to the heart and soul.
Yeah.
But not for Arnie.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I.
But not for Arnie. He's a good Christian boy.
When you kind of look up at the statue of Christ, and you look at Jesus' face, broken, burned, destroyed. Is Arnie a child of like religion? Would he have grown up in the church?
I'm gonna say yeah. His parents hate him for
And
working with the paranormal stuff, but yeah.
I know you did as well.
Yep.
So, great. Then the feeling that you get here is very much that kind of sense of like inclusion, right? That sense of like I understand, like that you get when you're kind of, you know, invested. Like when you're focused on it, and you feel like it's true, right? For those who have doubts and whatnot, this moment for you, it's like it's relieving that something worse didn't happen, and you feel like it could have, but it also lets you know that these angels are not angels; they are fallen angels. And your faith in that moment is what stopped it from hurting you and your friends. That's what you believe. And you can take that religious aspect as far as you want or not at all. It's entirely up to you. That's your game to play. Um, but in this moment, it feels like the only reason you're still standing and not a pile of blood like the others said they were left behind is because you believed.
I like it.
The others watch that happen, and some of them see the tendrils like almost like consume Arnie, which is the reason why you also had to roll sanity. You were watching it from the outside. It was like light devouring man.
Well, we didn't want any trouble.
Oh, one last
He
note.
should have listened.
Yeah, I should have listened. He didn't know we had. One last note for you, Chody, and this is super important. The face of that individual is irrecoverably burned into your psyche. It is not a face you have seen before, but if you were to see that face again, you would recognize that person immediately.
Okay.
And this might tip my hand a bit too far, and I apologize, but I have to double check. You have not seen any photography of a Henry Fitzgerald yet, have you?
Nope.
Oh. But the rest of us, we didn't see that. We just saw the light.
Yeah, you could not see
Shape.
past the veil. He was not enveloping you.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Do you wish to check out the mausoleum and the graveyard, or do you wish to ascend up the hill?
I want to ask Riley what he saw up there. Since I asked him to get up there to get a lookout, right? He's still up there, yeah?
Oh yeah, he hasn't dropped down yet.
Yeah, I'll holler down. Well, there was a sleeping bag. It's down there now. There's some opened food containers. It looks like somebody's been living up here. The back of that one thing that almost got Arnie looked like a bunch of angel wings. I'm pretty sure I can see the antique shop from up here. So if we ever get the chance to go back by there, I might stop in there. You know,
No,
it is
we
kind of
probably
alluring.
won't, but you
I
said
kinda wanna
people
go
have
there
been
now,
living up
but-
there?
Yeah, it's from what I guess, maybe 1, 2 people.
They leave
I
any
only seen
clothing
one
or
sleeping bag, so
the one sleeping bag?
yeah.
Do
They
you
leave any
look?
kind of clothing or any indication of who they were behind?
Yeah, I'll look around. See.
Sure. Go ahead and make us. There's no investigate roll, so just spot hidden. And then, Stan, do you look at the sleeping bag that was tossed down?
How?
Yeah, I'll have a look at it.
Do you want to spend some
I
luck
would-
on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll lose my luck.
2 luck.
I would.
As
Two
you kind
luck.
of move over to the bag, in the heat of the moment, he didn't pay attention to what was happening. He just threw it.
Yeah. We
And
were all there.
nobody was really focused on the bag because everything that was going on. So as you look towards the bag, you realize that when it hit, the contents of the sleeping bag spilled out a bit. Have you ever had a calzone or a hot
Oh,
pocket?
gross.
I don't need to
That
describe
thing
it
landed
more.
awfully. That
Yeah,
thing
I
landed
gotcha,
awfully
I
close to me,
gotcha.
didn't it?
Right in front of you, yeah, a bit. But again, you were watching, and it hit the ground and kind of did its thing. But it basically appears to have been filled with contents of being, similar to what was described when an angel
Yeah.
got someone.
I'm just gonna take a quick peek inside, realize that's what happened, and then cover it.
Just give it one of these. Whoop.
Oh.
You don't need to know. You don't need to know. Nobody needs to know. It's
Yep.
fine.
All right, Riley, scramble on down here.
Riley, with that successful because of luck spot hidden check, you search up there, and in the mess of the person's stuff, you find a revolver, Smith and Wesson, 38. It looks like it
Okay.
has one bullet of the 6 in the wheel expended. The rest are ready to go, so 5 shots. No extra ammunition or anything. You then also find a flashlight. You find what appears to be a magazine of like couture fashion that is in a state. There are a couple of cans and a can opener, cans of food, some open
Gotcha.
cans as well.
Okay.
And just to not be subtle, obviously they were bad boys, and whoever was here with the magazine, bad, horrible boys
Yeah, you gotcha.
out here in the woods, all alone.
Yeah, I'll take the revolver and the can opener
Okay,
and both cans of food that I've opened.
okay.
Oh.
Arnie and Erica, once the
Making sure.
matter has kind of finalized, you're obviously at the pulpit already. Do you continue your business as you planned, or do plans change now that you realize you are protected by the armor of God? Whatever. If you want to go on, if you want to be that route, we can go that route. But if you don't, if you want to continue your process, if you want to like scan, if you want to search, that's absolutely.
Cody's character is full
Yeah.
on chick tracks.
I
He's
think-
becoming,
yep,
he's
I
becoming a
think we're
paladin.
good.
You're literally just beaming there for a while, just kind of like staring up at him. Okay. Erica,
I'd like to look at the offering plate. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Great. So inside of the offering plate, seated kind of like in it, is a bunch of loose change. Looks like old pennies and nickels, and a couple of quarters. But there's also in it a necklace.
Oh.
The necklace has a cameo on it. The cameo in question appears to be a woman who is kind of matronly, and has features very similar to the keeper or the housekeeper at the manor house.
Okay. The cook.
Yes, the cook.
Okay. Okay.
Is it a actual cameo or is it like a locket?
Cameo. So it'd be like a carved relief thing. Yeah.
Okay. And I think Erica would like timidly go back up to the crucifix.
And you're looking at the pulpit. You said. I think that's what you were saying you were going to do, because Arnie was doing the scan. You were just looking, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at the crucifix and the kind of checking out like the carvings,
Okay.
and then also on the pulpit.
Sure. The pulpit, like I said, is kind of falling apart. Looks like termites have gotten
Mhm.
to it. But when you look inside, you can see that the shelf that would have been where you like place your Bible and your sermon notes and the stuff like underneath has fallen
Mhm.
away, and it's kind of all of that is seated on the floor. It looks like the sermon notes that were present here are ancient, and very much just mush. There is a Bible, and it too looks like it has fallen to decay, but it
Mhm.
seems to have saved the book that is seated on top of it, which is a book you do not recognize, but you do recognize the language of the script that the title is written in. I
Mhm.
believe you speak it, Gaelic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What?
it
pick
says
pick that up.
Revel's Tome of Knowledge.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the necklace, the chain part, does it show signs of age from being sit in the rubble, or
Oh,
does
yeah.
it look newish?
It's gold, but it definitely looks like it's been seated here for a long time. So gold
Okay.
usually kind of gets that kind of
Mhm.
it
Tarnish?
loses its luster. Tarnish, but the tarnish for a gold, it's kind of like it has like a filminess to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't recently put here. So this has been here for a while.
nope, yeah. All the pennies
Okay.
date from before the 20s,
Okay.
and yeah.
Why would this be here, Arthur?
Andy, your mic. Bring it back.
Why would this be here? Arthur would ask. Especially Erica.
He's sitting there in
This-
like the middle of the middle of the room with his stuff. Erica's
We
pulling
need to go
out
back to the house and talk to her, don't you think?
spell book. She's like looking at it. Riley's like, "Hey, coming down the best he can with a gun and a
I got a gun and a can of ravioli. What a day it is!
what a day!" And then while that is all going on, there's still this just holy glow. Well, no, not actually, but like in his mind, there's still this holy glow around
Mm.
Arnie as he's holding his devices and he's like,
He's doing God's work.
"I am the chosen
Hell
one."
yeah.
Also, Arnie, I'm just sort of like standing where the angel was, sort of like still kicking the sleeping bag closed. Arnie, that thing, that meant us harm, right? No hesitation next time.
Yeah, that's not of God. That's something else. That's something wrong. Those are evil.
All I needed
It
to
was a
know.
mistake.
The book, if you pop it open, Erica, you'll see that it does appear to have contents. It looks like it has spells, which, if you'd like to utilize, you can attempt to learn them, or you can attempt to cast them just by reading them from the book. Um, you have no
Oh,
magic
do
points,
that.
correct?
Don't
hell do
think
you-
so.
oh,
Hold
I
on.
see.
Arthur does.
What?
I do.
I have 0 of
Where do
12.
I see? Oh yeah, 0 of 8.
Okay. So,
Ooh.
on acquiring the book, your cap is not increased, but you will gain 1 magic point. You have 1 magic point.
I
And
got 1 magic.
the more you study, the more you will be able to cast at a later point.
Just walk up to Arnie. She's a witch, my lord.
Heretic!
Minister Frodo.
If you two would like to spend time, an hour or so, working on what the spells are, you can. But I'm pretty sure a couple of them you've already got an idea of what they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the spells that you saw in your fight against your doppelganger, or rather, in this reality, Fitzgerald's doppelganger.
Mhm.
It would be melt flesh, and
Good one.
indeed,
A slow burn, but it's
mind
Slow
blast.
burn.
Mind blast.
Mm.
The spell that you don't know that seems to be, or rather, never, from its description, had no idea was even possible, is a spell called View Gate.
What is the first word again?
View, as in,
You. Mm-hmm.
and these are in the
Oh.
compendium.
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth's character has the book, They are not known spells, so you have to study the book to gain them.
Mhm.
But I
Right.
I kind of do the ad hoc of you can try and cast it from the book with a power roll, and
Mhm.
you're basically risking yourself a lot more than you would be if you're just casting it
Right,
normal.
right.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Might have to do some reading.
Be careful, Erica. The more you read this, the more it could make you unstable. The more you tear back the veil.
Fair warning. Yes. That makes sense. But I am very interested in the contents of it.
So mausoleum, no mausoleum, up the hill, no up the hill. At this point, since you spent some time studying the book and everybody kind of looking around, others could have
Mhm.
gone and checked out the mausoleum while you were reading.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah, well,
Do you want to drag anybody with you?
if anybody wants to come, they can.
Where's he going? I'm keeping an eye on him.
You go into the mausoleum. Inside, we've been in this space before. Just imagine the same exact space, but older. So not a lot has changed inside. The gate is still kind of broken off to the side. It's been kind of caught up by creepers, vines, and the like, and held open. But the vines have not transgressed the. Oh my god, what is it called? When you're going to a house, the threshold. They have not transgressed the threshold of the mausoleum. Um, inside, there is kind of a smell of death, but that's to be expected for a mausoleum. You can see that the Revelses are the people who are buried in this mausoleum. Looks like there was a space where something was hung up on a wall. It is also dusty, but the two levels of dust and dirt are kind of different. You can see the difference, so you can kind of still see the silhouette of where the mirror was. And then on the ground, near where that mirror would have been, are two skeletal figures that are in a state of decay that would be appropriate for two dead corpses left to the open air for 20 plus years. That's right, they didn't even.
Now that doesn't sit right with me. Why would nobody retrieve those?
Great questions.
just in a broad, holistic.
And, yeah, in a total, like, complete package, because the Pinkertons knew about those corpses. Why wouldn't they go
Yeah.
grab them?
All right, whatever. Dan will investigate the skeleton.
Yeah, they're dead. They do still have
Yeah.
their kit. Like, there are two rusted revolvers. There's a shotgun
They're
that looks
gonna
like.
be no good. Shotgun, I'll look at.
Yeah, you take the shotgun, you kind of dust it off a bit, you breach it, kind of like realize that it's a little rusted, but a couple of like quick, pulls of the action, you're able to kind of clear it enough so that it seems like it'll fire. The pistols are wheel guns, so they'll shoot. Like, they're going to be clunky on the switch, like on the movement. But yeah, they're old school revolver, so they're going to be pretty reliable despite their age. And there's,
Those
from what you
rusted
can,
out barrels, though, it's gonna be rough to hit anything.
oh yeah, it's going to be a piece of shit.
Don't gotta worry about that with a scattergun.
Yeah, the shotgun not so much, right? Exactly. It seems like it's fine. Whatever the maximum capacity for it would be a trench gun, shotgun. Is what I
Like
think I
8 or
use.
10.
-1 is its current number of bullets.
Okay. Would that be existing in the
It should be. I think.
thing?
Let me check.
I can't even remember what the thing is called.
Compendium.
Compendium.
I couldn't remember threshold, so it's fine. Shotgun. It's gonna be 12 gauge shotgun. We're gonna go with pump.
Oh, God.
Let me check
Doesn't have
one.
a strap on it, does it? It wouldn't have
No,
lasted.
I wouldn't. It doesn't even look like it has the fixtures for it either. It's more of a ride along.
I'll carry it.
We could make a sling for it, but if it doesn't have the fixtures for it, I think it'd be hard to do.
Hmm.
Not so important. I have things I could drop in a hurry. Where would I find that, John? I'm sorry, in the compendium.
Compendium, just type shotgun, and then you'll have a list of items in shotgun. Is this not showing up? Oh, it maybe I. Oh, god damn.
I don't know if I have access to it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I know what I
no,
did.
you're fine.
I know what I did. I know what I did. I'm fixing it right now. Hold on.
If you just want to throw it on my
okay, it's
sheet, if
okay.
that would be easier, I
You
don't
know what?
care.
That would probably be easier. What with there being 30 minutes left, I will make sure that compendium access.
Whenever it happens, we don't have to necessarily use it right now.
It's happening right now.
I will find a gunfight. I will use it once and die.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have one gunfight here in a sec.
I see another angel.
I just
Oh
tagged
shit!
it. 12 gauge shotgun.
Found it.
Pump. Yep. And ammo is 5, so it has 4 remaining.
Okay.
Okay. That doesn't take terribly long. Arnie, do you do anything since you didn't go to the mausoleum while they're reading books and they're checking out crypts?
I'd be getting myself together again and being ready to kind of go.
Yeah.
Have a bit of an awakening, big change. So he's kind of like, okay, cool. We
I would
got.
say like the thing that you probably do right after is kind of like when you snap back to it is just do a quick scan of the crucifix, and it does have a bit of a tick, but it's different than everything else that we've experienced here. There's a very different kind of patterning to what you're seeing on your reader, which is significant for you. It makes you think that there's two supernaturals. Like you're trying to think out like what's happening here. Like there's two supernaturals that are fighting each other.
I would take note of the different how the scan looks and make sure to hit it to memory to make sure I can tell them apart.
And yeah, they're not opposed. It's not like you can tell they're like diametrically opposed or anything.
Yeah.
They seem similar, but they're different.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, definitely
Yeah.
mark in the mind how they're different.
Gotcha. Okay, if that's all done, up the hill.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
With everything that's gone on, the durational time, everything that's happened, once you get to the top of the hill, it is evening time. Like you will be getting up to here right when we're getting into that nice bit of time during the day where if you're driving home, the sun's in your fucking eyes if you're going the wrong direction, or the sky is kind of like that nice crisp goldish color where it's slowly starting to turn purple. It's that lovely time of day.
Golden hour.
Dusk would probably have been the better way of just saying it in just one word. Easy.
You know,
I don't know.
it's-
You had
like,
a
some
time
really
there.
nice alliteration.
You're the one who has to fill out time and determine how much time we have. So you want to go?
You're the one
If you want to
setting the
circle the
pace.
block, I understand.
John, you did a great Tolkien.
Thank you.
Set the scene.
That's the best compliment I've ever received. The radio
You know,
tower.
like when you're driving home in the wrong direction.
You know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm talking
Some call it wet.
about. Some call it wet. We Steven. This is the radio tower here. The house that you come up behind looks like it's in working order, but it looks like it's in a working order that isn't currently, like, no one's at home. The house looks fine. The yard looks like shit.
Fair.
Happens.
Even when we're there. Sometimes. I just don't want to mow, you know?
I know Riley and Erica are both reasonably stealthy.
Yes.
If either of them wants to try to like scope out a window.
Yeah, I can try.
Yeah, I could try that.
Do you want to take some time to kind of, as you're watching, just kind of hold here for a bit to see what's going on? Okay. Cool. So then
Yeah.
everybody go ahead and make a spot hidden check. Riley will be specifically focused in on the buildings, but everyone else is just general.
There I am. No, that's not
Hey,
me.
perfect 90. Let's go.
Kinda
I
hard.
keep failing.
Stan, you have been doing this all day. The thing is this is the only time that I've asked you to actually do it. You have been doing this all day when I asked you to make a spot check for something that was focused. But now that I've asked you to roll an umbrella spot hidden
Uh-huh.
check, you fucking nailed it. So you are aware. Because you've
I'm
been aware this
paranoid.
whole time. You've been aware this whole time. It's just not towards the things that are actually happening, like right there in front of you. You've been trying to keep yourself
That
defended.
turns into Parmesan. It's none of my business.
So at this point, you're actually able to point out a couple of things that are very disconcerting towards you, or to you. On the road up ahead, in between the houses, as everyone's kind of watching, there's a moment where you see two individuals walking on the street. They look like they are not so much walking, but skipping, hand in hand. One boy, one girl, teenager age, both with long hair. And you can kind of see them, and it looks like their mouths are moving, but from this distance, you can't hear what they're saying or singing. It's a fleeting moment. You watch them kind of just move past as if they're just heading down the road together. You also see, with that extreme success, that in the building that Riley was looking at, and Riley, you also see it, it does look like the windows have been boarded up on the first floor, and the windows on the top floor have been broken out, and you can see that rifles are seated near those windows. Like people are inside of those buildings, or were inside of those buildings, and were holding out. The rifles in question there are more cop-esque rifles. Probably not like a Garand, probably something more kind of like short barrel and compact, like a carbine.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the thing that you spot is on the the TV tower, about 40 feet up, there's a platform that looks like it's where like the power station is for that tower. Probably more power stations and stuff beneath, but like its main, fuse section.
Mm.
It looks like there's a person working at that station. Now you can't see anything more than a silhouette of that guy.
Right.
Because distance.
That's a while off.
Yeah,
a ways off.
You can definitely see there's a guy, and you can definitely, with that success, track that there's movement. So there's patrolling beatniks.
Is there anything familiar about the teenage couple that's skipping?
They look tappy.
I sure hope so. If you're skipping,
Yeah, they look tappy.
that's the happiest form of transportation, I think.
Yeah, skipping. That is for transportation. Quote of the century.
Who skips pissed?
I want to see it now, but at the same time, I can't picture it because I'm too happy thinking about it.
So that's
great.
just weird.
Yeah,
the holdout window makes sense, and I guess it also makes sense to see somebody like servicing the tower.
Yep. Arthur, with your 33, the things that you pick up on would be everything related to the buildings you don't see, everything related to the tower you don't see. You do see the skipping couple.
Oh, thank God.
Riley, so someone else can confirm that you're not insane.
I'd feel crazy.
No, I saw it too. You're like, oh.
And didn't we hear a description of that before the gun or after the gunfight?
The beatniks, yeah, they've been
Yeah.
confirmed to be just kind of very strange, younger individuals who are kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We want to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
The lower windows of the house we're nearest to are boarded up. Looks like there was a holdout going on in the upper floor. We don't know how that came to pass. So either the holdout was against or of Pinkertons prior to the beatniks taking over? And that's long gone, or this is now a beatnik like watch post?
Yeah.
But if it seems like the window is currently unmanned, that wouldn't be a bad place to get to. Is me thinking aloud.
Yeah. I think you're kind of spot on there.
I think I want to sneak up there as well to see if we can't get somebody to that window.
Okay.
If
Yes.
anybody else has ideas or
I'm just gonna
thoughts,
go
please.
based on Riley's performance at the church. I'm gonna assume that he can get up to that second floor window without an issue with Stan's help. So if you cross the yard in the kind of tall grass, not super tall, but like uncut grass.
We're staying low to it. It's uncut. It's
Yeah, it's not like super
kind of-
high. But
Sure.
it's definitely a bit of foliage there. You get to the wall of the house, but during the process of getting there, the backyard was kind of, you know, scattered inside of it with toys, like yard toys that would be appropriate for 1940s or very early 1950s children to be having, like maybe a red wagon,
Yeah.
or a
Hobby
ball,
horse.
a hobby horse, this kind of stuff.
Slip and slide.
But the but is important. All of them look like they have been cut on, carved on, or drawn on or painted on with these very strange looking symbols. And when you look at them, Arthur and Erica, they look like strange symbols to everyone else, but they look like runes, Gaelic runes to you.
Okay.
And they all seem to be denoting protection.
Huh.
And those aren't just on the toys?
All over the toys. Yep.
Are they on the houses at all?
Nope.
Weird.
If you two would like, you can roll occult or
Yes.
Cthulhu Mythos.
Ooh,
I have an
boy.
assumption.
Cthulhu Mythos, I have a 15, but occult I have an 84. Ooh. Go.
10 in both.
Oh, a stream success in occult. Let's go.
If you'd rolled
Failed
if you'd rolled the
Get those bad rolls out of here. Actually,
I
was
I know. But no,
You know what?
can't do it.
I'm going to be completely and horribly favorable to you. If you want to have said that was Cthulhu Mythos, I will let you say that's the case.
I made my choice.
You sure? I'm giving you a freebie here.
If you're giving me, oh
I'm
gosh,
being extremely nice.
Could I
can
swap
spend-
mine
well,
and spin luck?
You can't spend luck on Cthulhu Mythos, I don't think.
Oh,
Can you?
I don't know.
Well, it won't matter.
Oh,
You
I
won't.
have that.
It's
fine. If you want to
I'll
give it
keep
to me, I will take it.
Okay. If you want to spend luck and get the occult, I'll allow that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. So for
So I
you,
spend 8 points.
Erica, it looks like these symbols were added. Yeah, 8 points. It looks like these symbols were added a while ago. It looks like they were added with intent for protecting the bearers of those toys or the users of those toys
Mhm.
by someone. Perhaps their parents, perhaps the people who are just, favorable to these items. Perhaps they were left out here as kind of a barrier on the outside. What you're able to determine, though, is that they are basically fetishes or relics of magic that are
Mhm.
still serving their purpose. They are still protective wards, in effect. With Cthulhu Mythos, however, and that's 7. Andy, what you're able to determine is that they are 100% in fact placed there with intent. There is a barrier of them. You look to the yard next door, you look to the yard behind, and you can see that there are toys all about. Looks like these have all been placed with intent. A ring of trinkets around Pinkertown to protect it.
Kicks toy.
And,
So
I would
are
say
we
that-
thinking not just don't touch them?
and one
Yeah,
last...
leave, no,
Sorry, go ahead.
don't
finish.
touch them. Yeah, I would say don't. The barrier is here for a reason. We don't know why exactly, but so I mean, like, it's maybe protecting from the Jellyman, but who? How
I
did the
thought-
Pinker? I'm sorry. This
Oh,
is
I
the
thought that-
these are the beatniks, right?
Yeah, but I thought that the beatniks were part of
Oh, hold on.
why the Jellymen were coming.
Hold on. I need to pull up my notes because I forgot the name of this thing, but
Jellyman came when Pinkertons left.
Arthur would
Yes.
not
Oh.
forget. Arthur would not
And then-
forget the name. Hold on. God damn it. I know, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's right. The Pinkertons are.
Hold on. Sorry. This is important. I need to make sure the delineation is present. I just need to find it in my notes. I can't remember the name of the entity. It's pissing the shit out of me off. Does
I believe
anybody
you.
here remember the name of the light angel from the Patreon game that was mentioned once in the Our Better Angels Case 1? Nobody?
I wasn't here.
Was it
Fine.
an angelic name?
Hold on.
It wasn't.
Gabriel,
Raphael.
Azazel,
Hold on.
Donatello.
Bob.
Zero.
That's
Just
not
give me a
an
second.
angel.
What was its name?
That's
Zero.
a turtle.
Raphael is too.
If we can riff for 15 minutes on what its name might have been,
I'll
not down.
keep going.
Bob.
Was he cherubim,
No.
seraphim,
No.
Billy.
It was Billy. That was it. Yeah. Oh
Wait.
no.
Chris,
Jeez Louise.
Chris Angel?
Okay, here we go. Hold on. I found it. Hold on. I
Oh,
found it.
hate
I
that
found it.
guy.
I found where I
Okay,
need.
John found it.
Brooklyn?
I found where I need to look. I just need to restore this game.
Food cake. No. Okay.
Ezekiel.
We're gonna keep guessing until John
That's a
tells us to stop
R.
again.
Ezekiel.
Love it.
Fuck.
Angel, Michael. Was it Loki and Barnaby?
Sorry. Hold on.
Barabbas.
Barabbas, yeah.
Aziraphale?
No.
Crowley?
It is called.
That sounds like a prescription medication. You should ask your doctor about.
It is simply
Good
called
omen.
and referred to as the Deadlight. That was
The
what it was
Deadlight.
referred to.
We were getting there.
I thought it had a name.
I did too.
I remember it has a picture. Which I'll pull up
So
here.
the dead light.
The Deadlight. Yep.
Hmm.
It was hypothesized by Arthur in the end bit that the light that came from the old house was the source of Gabriel Revels' problems, like the reason why he was doing what he was doing, the artifice. And now I need to rejoin this game because I'm technically not in it, even though it is playing.
Ooh.
And then I'll kill the music for a second, but we're okay, I think. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So,
The barrier has something to do with the dead light.
the barrier is a barrier against the Deadlight. It was the
Okay.
Deadlight from entering into it.
And that's good for us.
Well, we don't want dead light. I'm going to say that's probably a true thing.
Maybe we kick it when we leave.
For Arnie, the thing inside the light looked like a really dead guy, and it was a light. So the dead light is kind of a on the nose description of the thing you just hung out with.
That false angel.
Right.
Oh, crap.
That-
Okay.
You saw
does
through
track.
the wolf's sheep clothing. Messiah.
I'm gonna see if I can't find that handout for you too, so I can show you what you actually saw. But while that's happening, continue to discuss amongst yourself what your plan of attack here is.
Get up into that window, see
Oh,
what we see.
sure. Inside, Riley, once you
If
get in
we're
there,
able to pass the barrier, I think is why we paused. If we're
yeah,
able to safely pass without molesting the barrier.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's
We're not touching the
yeah, they're not like
wagons and
connected.
stuff.
There's like spaces.
I
in
assumed
between
it was a
that you can-
perimeter kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Once you get to the house and enter into it,
Are we able to all get inside
well, Riley would be
with
the
the doors barred?
first one up and in, and then
Yes.
once he gets in there,
Yeah.
what you'll see is it does look like it was a holdout. Like they kind of formed themselves like in the corner bedroom, effectively like a pillbox of sorts, and they appear to have had a firefight of some fashion. Based on the positioning of the rifles, they were shooting into the forest. There are spent casings on the ground, and there's a bunch of white dust all over the floor.
Does it remind me of the dust from
Sure does.
B. Arthur? Okay.
So whoever was this holdout also didn't belong here somehow?
That or
Potentially?
maybe it's an effect that the creatures can have, like, put on somebody.
I will again, because I'm more than favorable. I will say that what Zach said is very smart. I won't say anything other than that. But what Zach
It's
said
very.
is very smart. Zach is a smart boy. He says smart things.
Say it again, Zach.
So what I'm assuming were these Pinkertons that kept this holdout that were having the firefight with whatever was coming from the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Likely also didn't belong here in the sense that B. Arthur didn't belong here.
The Pinkertons. Mm.
I'm assuming it's Pinkertons, whoever was in this firefight.
Mm.
We understand the Pinkertons kind of just left, right?
We
Like
also
nobody
know from the
saw
previous.
them leave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We also know from the previous campaign that the Pinkertons seemed to be messing around with the mirror creatures. They knew more about these things than we thought.
and some of them were
Sure.
mirror creatures.
Right.
You said we are currently in the house, right?
Well, Riley's up
Right.
and in. He can toss a rope down because there is. It looks like they had a kit, right? So there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff in here you can gather up. If you name it, I will say what if it's there or not. It looks like they were basically holding out for the end of the world, effectively, in the top floor of this specific house.
Yeah, I'll throw out the rope for them to be able to get up in there.
Sure. I'd like for everyone, just as an ad hoc way of me measuring it, go ahead and make a stealth roll. I'm not going to base this off of failure. I'm going to base this off of number for me, just so I know effectively how quiet.
I am an observant
Wow.
ninja, and so is Erica.
Fucking time.
I guess this is Andy's roll to fuck up. Oh no, it's not. He nailed it on the
Whoa!
Nailed it.
Just
Okay,
got it.
So apparently,
Man.
this is the ninja universe we're in, and you're all ninjas.
It's the protective barrier. It's the protective barrier.
The Ninjaverse.
We had 2 extreme successes just now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I will not bother you for stealth checks. You are going to go undetected until you want to be detected.
That's so good.
So, with that said, if there's anything you can think that a cop, like, holdout position, like, if you played Resident Evil 2, if it's in the Raccoon City Police Department, it's probably in here.
I want a grenade launcher.
Within reason.
Is
I'll give you a grenade.
Okay.
there an Iron Man suit in here?
Ah,
I said
Time
within
travel
reason.
belt?
You don't know.
What's an
Right, you're out of your element.
I would definitely like to take a few pairs of handcuffs if they have them.
Yeah, certainly.
Never know when you might need to, handcuff somebody.
I would look for food.
Sure, they are MREs.
Okay, I'd take a few of those.
Yep, they look like they were from the late 30s. So approximately about when the Pinkertons were grounded in. So they're still good.
Binoculars,
Yep,
spare rope.
you bet. How much do you want and how thick?
strong enough grade to carry the heaviest among us.
Was nylon a thing already? I think so. 'cause-
It'd be a little
50s?
early.
No,
It might be right on the
1930s.
nose because they had a lot of like rayon and nylon.
and
Nylon replaced a lot of the silk
And hemp.
stockings.
And-
Yeah,
well, the reason why it was super popular in the 40s and quickly got like it was all over the place is because the nylon companies got effectively subsidized, and hemp was considered to be of the devil because the weed was made with it. So
yeah. But
Yeah.
also nylon replaced silk in textiles because of the war because they
Yeah.
needed the silk for the parachutes.
right.
That's right.
So definitely nylon like cord for sure.
Mhm.
You absolutely can find that, not a problem.
I don't know. I'd want at least 50 feet if we know that
Easy.
the power station on the thing is 40 feet high.
Yep, easy.
Binoculars. What else
Medical
is
It's
it?
more
supplies?
survivalist stuff, right? This isn't like techie based kind of thing. It's more.
No. There is no nerd stuff
Could
here.
be radios and things though.
There are radios. Yes.
Cool.
Any
One
ammo to
for
match that revolver that I found?
Was it 38? Most likely.
38. Yeah, you can find ammunition for your 38.
Shells for the
Okay.
shotgun?
Absolutely. 12
I don't
gauge.
think I'll need too many.
You can find a 12 gauge shotgun. Yeah,
Say Macer shotgun.
it looks like
I
this
guess
was
I'll-
a holdout for sure.
I'm not gonna bother with like adjusting the case list. I'll just jot down stuff
Now, obviously,
in Discord that we're taking.
the more stuff you have on you, once we get this all kind of kitted out, because we have about 5 minutes, so it's probably just going
Right.
to be a session where you're gearing up to go for the radio station.
They have medical supplies.
Yep. First
Bengay?
aid kits.
Been
Yeah.
walking a lot. This
Oh, I
whole
gotta-
guy's sore.
I gotta rub these on
And I looked it up.
my piggies.
It was created in 1898.
Perfection.
the first aid kit.
Bengay.
Bengay.
Oh, Bengay.
It was French, actually.
That makes sense.
I almost said something horrible toward the French people.
You mean
course.
yourself?
They've heard it before, John.
Of course it was. Of course it was the French.
It had been.
No, I can't do a French accent. Not with this much time left. Anything else?
Hey, if they have grenades, I'll take a grenade or two.
Now, I do want to stress one thing as you're doing it, because I said it to Chody, and nobody really paid attention to it besides Chody, but everything is covered in that white dust. So as you're getting your items,
Oh, shit.
you are literally polishing them, like, brushing them clean. And it is very clear that this seems to be a similar circumstance to
This is all people's
right,
It's
to
a
what
bunch
happened
of body dust.
in
people.
Yeah. With that said,
There's guy powder here. I don't.
Powder.
We need it more than they
Don't
do.
sniff it.
it's how you make talcum. You erase people from existences they're not supposed to be in.
Oh,
It's-
that's
I'll
worse
give
than
it
gelatin.
I'll give it a fine dusting.
I'll wrap my hands up so I can go up here and swing my hands.
oh, that's too funny. That's too funny.
Do you- What?
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 You swing your hands.
Yeah, with the brawl skill, I'm gonna throw some hands.
Take a melee weapon with the
I
brawl
have an
skill.
axe. I have an axe.
Yeah. He still
Isn't
has
that
an
what the
axe.
brawl skill does?
No, the axe is the skill itself. The axe
Yeah.
is just for throwing, though. It's a fire axe. It's literally just meant to be thrown.
I could have
Mm.
sworn melee weapons use the brawl skill.
They do.
Oh, then I would be better at the axe than what it says I am.
So I'm trying to find. Oh, I found it. I found it.
Let me swing a bat.
Chody, this is
Yeah,
what it looked
that's
like
brawl.
to you, by the way. This is what the light looked like inside of the light.
Dear God.
Yep, no, that's
Ugh.
I shot that thing to smithereens.
Yeah. To everyone else, and
That's
this
so gross.
this is the character sheet. It just has the image, but this is what it looked like to everyone else.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
So
so
pretty.
If I
pretty.
see it again, I'm shooting it.
Pretty lights. Wow.
Yeah, not trying to suck out your soul at all.
to you, an
Right?
ancient old like poltergeistian evil. Okay, you gear up, and again, if there's anything you want to think of before next session, because if you don't think of it
All right.
before then, forget about it. Do what I want you to do. What Zach's doing there in the Discord too. Just quick jot it down. That way, if I go, no, it probably wouldn't be there. Like a little too outlandish. Like I think someone said an Iron Man suit. Whoever that idiot was. I just want to make sure I jump.
Dream, dang it.
Then I don't have to jump off of it. I can fly up there and then jump. The point is next session we're moving towards the radio tower. I will leave with one last bit. You do notice from your vantage point when you move across the house to the front side and look out there
That's what I was planning to do, is
that
post
there
up at the other window.
is a sweeping patrol of dancing beatniks on the streets of the circle. They continually follow the route. You're pretty sure that there are other beatniks somewhere, probably in the cluster of trees in the center of this place. But there appears to be a ring of them. Probably every 5 minutes or so, you're going to see a beatnik pass by. A pair of beatniks or a group of beatniks pass by. They appear to be skipping or jogging
Is this like Windmill Village in Elden Ring? I'm
or
I know,
serious. I'm
right?
briskly
getting those vibes
walking
pretty hard.
No,
and
they're doing
singing.
the safety dance.
They are
'Cause they
doing the
have the
safety dance.
barrier.
If it and remember a barrier against the what you are getting several different names for, but are
False angel.
the angels, yeah, that are plaguing the town below. So that said, we'll end the session there. We'll pick up next week as we continue case 2. Thanks for watching Those That Did.